Participants in this class, this is an intermediate choreography class. We offer 4 levels of choreography, and these students are in their second of those 4 levels. And the goal is, in the course of the entire sequence of classes, is to give them as broad a creative experience as possible. Traditional theater and dance happens in a proscenium stage with an audience sitting opposite the stage. Dance has always been sort of in the forefront of experimentation in the arts, along with music and a lot of the visual arts. But dance ventured outside, and that was a big step for dance. So that's not an uncommon thing to see these days, and it's important that our students have the opportunity to explore that type of experience. Our goal is to prepare them for what they will become, and we hope to give them a broad enough experience that they have a lot of choices when they finally leave here. In other words, this is the only site-specific study they'll do. But hopefully that if that's something that stimulates them, that might become a prominent part of their future in the field. This is a site-specific project. It's one of 6 that they accomplished during the semester. This one, along with every study we approach at this level, has something to do with form. We're looking at art as expression given form through movement, and I mean that's what dance is: expression given form through movement. So, what form is they choose a site, and then they're to utilize the site as a point of departure for the quote-unquote content of their study. Is it about something? And I ask them to find some meaningful metaphor for themselves. In other words, they were to look at the site and examine it. What were the reality? So that they're working with that as a potential point of departure for a metaphor. They were also supposed to use the site itself for movement invention. They might opt to do that with movement. They might actually do a movement like that, where we see the image. It isn't important that the audience know what the image is, but it's important that the choreographer know that's what gives it coherence, artistic coherence, is the artist's point of view. So at any rate, they were to utilize the site for those 2 very specific things. What is the content? What is the idea of the metaphor? And where did the movement come from? As a matter of fact, which can be in either a quiet place or quite an active place. And I asked them to take that into consideration when they chose their sites, not that to discourage them, but just to be aware. They also I asked them to be aware of the risk factor, to not take any undue physical risk to harm themselves, and to consider if a pedestrian happened to enter into their space, that person wouldn't be in any danger. But there were some very interesting things that happened. They did these studies 3 different times, actually, and the pedestrian traffic was different every time. So, some of the studies were in out-of-the-way enough places that it wasn't an issue, but others were one was right in front of the library, and there was a lot of traffic, and it was very interesting to see people's responses to this thing that they didn't understand. I think they probably recognized it was modern dance because it was weird, and I'm sure they thought it was strange. But that's part of the experience, and that's part of what we hope the students would glean from this project. Of course, the other, which didn't become too much of a reality, was the fact that it was going to be videotaped. I mean, it was a reality, but in terms of the dancers didn't actually have to make any adjustments for that. But it was important for them to have that experience, and when they see these studies, when they see the final video projects of these studies, they're going to have a greater sense of what that medium is about, and that may stimulate them in that direction. And I hope that it does send some students in that way.